Ready? Okay, out of respect for everyone's time, we will go ahead and get started. I do apologize for our staff because some of the information that you hear tonight are some things that we've talked about internally, but we really felt it was imperative that our community members and our constituents of all four communities had that opportunity to kind of hear a little bit about what's happening in the Bedford City School Districts. So those community members that have not been in the Bedford City School buildings in a while, specifically Bedford High School, we do welcome you. I am Dr. Johnson, the superintendent of Bedford City Schools. We are really blessed to be able to be here today because the last time that we had a State of the Schools address was during COVID. And most of that presentation was about how we were handling the coronavirus pandemic and our shutdown and our opening policies and so forth. So we are just really honored to have that opportunity to come before you today to talk to you about what's been happening over the past couple of years and where we plan to move forward as a district. Please make sure you also tell your family and friends that we are recording tonight's presentation. So we will definitely make sure that we post that live for you. But without any further ado, we will move forward and we will begin our presentation. Again, I'm Dr. Johnson, the superintendent of Bedford City Schools. I also would like to introduce to you our treasurer CFO, Mrs. Tabitha Armstrong. In addition, I would like to recognize our board members tonight. If they could please stand, any of our board members that have joined us. We have our board president, Mrs. Eva Boynton, and board member, Mrs. Sharon Macklin. Much of what we talk about tonight, we also want to make sure that it's very clear that this is not Dr. Johnson's presentation. This is a team effort. So you will hear from various departments that are truly assisting our district to move forward. I cannot do this alone. We cannot do this just by administration. But we have awesome leaders at the district level. We are very grateful to have a pretty amazing board, as well as our teachers, our support staff, our parents, and community members alike. So we just want to thank you so much for all the support that you provide us. And we really hope that you enjoy today's presentation. You hear a lot about pride, tradition, and achievement. Rather than you hear it from me, I do want to take this opportunity for you to hear a little bit from one of Bedford's alum.
Hello, I'm Danielle Wiggins, a graduate of Bedford High School and a proud Bearcat. While growing up, I had friends and classmates that resided in the communities of Bedford, Oakwood Village, and Rolling Hills. As a younger Bearcat, I recognized the distinction and charm of each community. But as a more seasoned Bearcat, I fully appreciate the value of these communities' intersection. Education and children are where these communities meet. The Bedford City School District is the educational center of these communities, and I am excited to tell you more about my alma mater. With a strong emphasis on academics, career technical opportunities, effective mental health support, the arts, and athletics, the Bedford City School District proves their commitment to fostering an educational environment that nurtures the comprehensive growth of students. From the expansion of the award-winning preschool program that recently earned a permanent 5-star rating to the increasing number of students that walk across the stage in their cap and gown, the Bedford City School District strives to give their students the best education possible. The district has an amazing relationship with multiple public Ohio colleges and universities that allow students to earn both college and high school credits for courses. Students have the opportunity to graduate with a high school diploma and an associate's degree. Since the inception of the College Credit Plus program, over 250 students have benefited, and the number continues to grow.
Bedford City School District has done a lot for me. It has helped me reach my potential. It's definitely helped me figure out what I wanted to do in life. This year I will be taking honors English 2, honors biology, and honors
Can't move that thing off the screen.
I now plan to go to college to major in theater at Baldwin Wallace University. The district has
I'm
done
afraid to
things
touch it.
to really
You want to go do it?
understand where their students are coming from and understand what we need to be successful. District created a men's volleyball team and a women's wrestling team at the request of students because those were things that we were interested in doing.
Versatile describes the school district, offering over 200 courses in the areas of math, science, language arts, and fine arts. The Bedford City School District strives to produce well-rounded graduates. Responding to the needs and desires of the community is a goal of the district too. Many scholars are finding success with virtual learning, and so the Excel technology program was implemented. From Bearcats that are in kindergarten to our Bearcats in high school, this online educational platform provides students with an alternative pathway to achieve academic success. The Bedford City School District is committed to investing in its students and its community. The district has partnered with over 30 local businesses to provide students with experiences in automotive technology, business management, and much more. Through this Career Tech Exploration program, students earn industry credentials and learn that there are multiple ways to be successful after the completion of high school.
I get excited about the idea of helping children learn because I work at Bedford City School District and I just love our commitment to the success of children. Our teaching staff, our support staff, our administration, our school board members, even our community, and especially our families. We are all committed to the success of children. Bedford City Schools also has a complete and full commitment to developing the whole child. Whatever desire you may have, we have a space for you here at Bedford City Schools.
A school district that cares about the mental safety and mental health of its students is a district that has its priorities in order, and the Bedford City School District is that district. The district has 4 social workers, 2 mental health therapists, full-time counselors in every building, and social emotional learning interventionists. With the implementation of a social emotional learning team in every building, students receive educational tools and strategies that teach problem solving, self-regulation, impulse control, and empathy that works in and beyond the classroom. The list of the Bedford School District's attributes would not be complete without highlighting the excitement that the arts and athletics brings to the communities and its stakeholders. As the years progress, the trophy cases get bigger and the arts illuminate. Several of my fellow alumni have gone on to have professional careers in sports, theater, writing, and music. Providing multiple avenues for success in education is the way of the district. The Bedford City School District's motto is one that is applicable to all areas of life. The Bearcat Way is providing a supportive learning environment, embracing diversity, fostering each student's full potential, building strong family and community partnerships, developing academic excellence through a variety of rich experiences, and promoting respect as a right and responsibility.
When I reminisce about my time as a student in the Bedford City School District, I have warm memories, and I pray that current and future generations will look back on their educational experience with pride and enthusiasm when they are adult Bearcats.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Just one more round of applause for our staff. The staff member that created the video was Kanan Gabriel. As you can see, just a wealth of talent there that we have in the Bedford City School District. The script was written by Jamie Cole. So Jamie, can you stand up? Our communication coordinator. So you hear a lot about us talking about building a brighter future in the Bedford City School District. As our alum spoke of, she talked about our core values that we have established here in the Bedford City School District. These are not our core values as district personnel, but a group of individuals came together collectively to collaboratively talk about who we are as a district, what our vision would be, our mission, and our overall tagline of pride, tradition, and achievement. With that being stated, we talk a lot about how do we get that done. Through the Ohio Department of Education, and Mr. Harrington will talk a little bit about this a little bit later, we have something called our One Plan goals. Many of you refer to these as your strategic plan, but these are guided or our pathway towards achievement that we have set before us as an entire district of the things that we feel need to be our target to improve academic achievement. And as you heard our staff member talk about, addressing the needs of the whole child. Well, when you talk about any organization, you have to have some guiding principles behind that. When you heard them talk about addressing the needs of the whole child. We talk about organizing for success, not just talking about it, but truly inspecting what we expect of every single individual that that works here in the Bedford City School District, regardless of if you're an administrator, a teacher, or you're a cook in the cafeteria. It really takes a team to move the district forward. And in order for us to do that, we're just not talking about fads when it comes to public education, but how do we sustain the success? I talk to our staff about this all the time. As a public education institution, we all know, those of us that work here, that we are under attack every single day. What I mean by that is most of the stuff you see, it's negativity about public education. I can't say enough about the amazing staff, students, and families of the Bedford City School District. So we have to continuously talk about what are we doing to move the district forward, but we also talk about what we will do individually to make that happen. It's so interesting that I was in a meeting last week with some superintendents. And just as we are doing this, and we'll share with you later our progress, I found it kind of interesting that now at the state level, they're talking about the fact that public schools did too well, too fast. So something must be wrong, so now we got to move the target. So it's things like that that we can't make change just by ourselves. We need you as the members of the Bedford City School District community to talk to your legislators about what we are doing as an educational institution to support our students. And we can't have a moving target, but we know that we have high expectations for ourselves and for our students, and therefore we have to truly establish what we will do to move the mark. So we talk about what our goals will be each year, but I can't just expect that of the people on the front line and our students. There are some things that I have to do as well. I have to be able to answer those tough questions, and that should be expected. In addition to that, we talk about those non-negotiables. What are those things that we say that we are going to do and they're a must? Again, regardless of if that's an administrator, a teacher, or our students. We have to have safe schools. A lot of people talk about all the change that has occurred. Unfortunately, in this day and time, there's some things that we cannot negotiate with. And one of them is keeping our babies and our staff safe. In addition to that, we have to make sure that we're teaching the standards, that we're using evidence-based strategies, as well as demonstrating their ability to be actively engaged in their own learning. It is not enough for us to just dictate. You heard one of our students talk about us having conversations about what they want as individuals to assist us to move the district. We also hear from our community members that they should have a voice. They should have the ability to sit at the table. And that's why I also want to thank all of our community members tonight that have come before us to hear our presentation today. With that being stated, at the foundation of everything that we do, you got to have the finances, you got to have that stability. And we are very fortunate to be in a district that we have been very fiscally responsible. We have not gone to our community for over 9 years. Obviously, there's always some things that can change, but I am so blessed to have the opportunity to work side by side with an individual that is come in and is assessing and modeling what we need to do to continue to be financially stable and responsible in the Bedford City School District. So at this time, I'm going to turn that over to Ms. Tabby Armstrong to talk to you a little bit about that.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? All right. First, I want to thank the Board of Education, Dr. Johnson, Dr. Threet, the rest of the administration team and our community partners for putting together tonight's Autumn Festival. This is great for our schools and our community. But to start my presentation, we just hit this. How do we use this? Oh, got you. All right, thank you. To start my presentation tonight, I want to start with looking at Bedford's 5-year forecast. The 5-year forecast, well, actually, I'm going to start over. My name is Tabitha Armstrong, treasurer for the Bedford City School Districts, and I'm responsible for the fiscal health of the district. And I'm responsible with providing sound guidance to the leadership team as they make decisions that align with the visions and missions that Dr. Johnson just talked about for our district. And to start our presentation, I'm going to begin with looking at our 5-year forecast. The 5-year forecast is required by the Ohio Department of Education. Treasurers are required to file it in May and November. It takes a look at our projected revenue, our expenses, and our cash balances looking 5 years forward. The one we're looking at here is from May. It has the actuals from 2022 and projections out 5 years. Looking at the graph, the black line represents Bedford's revenue, the gray bar represents our expenditures, and the yellow vertical line represents our cash balance. If you look at our expenditures over the next 5 years, you'll notice that they are continuing to rise. That is in line year to year. The cost of living increases, and in our current environment with the inflation, we also have to account for extra revenues higher than normal. If you look at our revenue line, you will see that our revenue line remains flat. Again, that is standard, and that is because even though you may see home values increase, the school district does not receive more revenue due to House Bill 920. In year 2027, you see that the Bedford City School District is projecting that we have a cash balance of a little under $2 million. This is the forecast from May. I want to invite everyone to come out to our second board meeting in November. Well, I will give a 5-year forecast that talks about the assumptions that goes behind how we prepare the revenue and the expenditures in our 5-year forecast. And if you can't attend that, it will also be live streamed on the website. As we move on, I want to talk about what it costs our district to educate our kids. According to the state of Ohio, in fiscal year 23, it cost the district $7,270.02 to educate a kid. And our residents, our class 1 taxpayers, contribute 28% to educating our kids. The other 72% comes from our state foundation, our commercial taxpayers, and federal and state grants. So I do thank our residents members for your 28% contribution to educating the kids of Bedford City Schools. So when we talk about that other 72%, within there are our federal and state grants. For fiscal year 23, Bedford City Schools spent $7,306,861 in expenses from federal grants. And just to be clear, when we talk about the expenses, that is not a direct correlation to what we receive in awards. And the reason why those won't always match is sometimes the awards go over multiple school years, and then also there's the timing and when we receive invoices and make payments. But for this last school year, we spent 37% of the grant dollars that we spent on instructional services. That's for our regular That's for our special ed, and that's for our career tech education program. We spent another 39% on our instructional support services. That includes staff like our paraprofessional, our healthcare specialist, our social workers, and our gifted program. We spent another 21% on support services, non-instructional. That includes our bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, the business office workers, and also our central office and administrative staff. And then the remaining 3% we spend on our food service program, and then also our community service program that helps put on events like the ones we're having today. And then the last thing that I do want to focus on tonight is Dr. Johnson talked about the Bedford City Schools Playbook 22 through 25 and addressing the need of the entire child. And one of the bullet points was about safe, about each student learns in an environment that is physically and emotionally safe for the student and the staff. So Bedford Supervisor of Safety and Security, Tad he applied for and we were awarded 2 State of Ohio safety grants. The program was created to help schools pay for physical security expenses such as new security cameras, public address systems, automatic door locks, and visitor badges and exterior lighting. In that grant, we were awarded in round 2 $100,000 that went to the high school in Heskett. And in round 3, we were awarded $450,000 that each school received some funding. So that's where I just wanted to present some information that was in line with what Dr. Johnson was talking about. And then next, I have Kenya Harrington coming to talk about academic achievement.
One of the things I want to go back to, because I feel that this is very important, when I talk about the attack on public education and the messages out there, and I'm just going to say tomorrow night we will have a community forum at Central Primary School. It's at 6 o'clock. For any resident, anybody, any employee that has questions about our bond issue and why we need funds, please tell them to come. I can't tell you enough the misinformation that I'm hearing about how we are spending our funds. All of this is a public record. So we will also share some of the things, because I'm being questioned about where we are in terms of our tax rate, where we are in terms of how does this impact me as a resident. As you can see, so please tell all the individuals on social media that have some questions about cost and how our teachers are paid too much. We have too many administrators. Look where our money goes. You have a right to ask us anything that you want to know about where your money is spent as a resident. Your money is going towards children. Children. The safety, the care, the instruction. So it's imperative that if people have questions, you can guide them here, or please ask them to come tomorrow night to ask any questions they have about what we are doing for the children of Bedford City School District. So thank you, Tabby, so much for this information. I'll turn it over to Mr. Harrington.
As we get started, as Dr. Johnson shared our district goals, as we look to achieve those goals for our improvement plan, better known as our 3-year plan, it really helps us understand what we need to do to close the achievement gap for our students, but then also letting us know what's going to happen as it relates to our ratings. Can everybody hear me now? As it relates to our ratings from the Ohio Department of Education. So as we look at our report card, there are 6 areas that were rated in: achievement, progress, gap closing, graduation, and early literacy. The college, career, workforce, and military readiness will not be rated until 2025. But through that, this year, what we're happy about, we were able to maintain certain aspects as it relates to the report card components, and then also improve in other areas. This year, we also received an overall rating of 3 out of 5, which we're happy about, but we also understand that we still need to move forward and progress as we work on our students and our staff. So as we talk about graduation and that 4-year trend, we're also happy because graduation rates for this year improved. As we look at graduation, there's always a year lag as we get the report card, but we understand that due to COVID, there was a dip in 21-22. But as I said, the things that have been put in place, working with the high school staff, we're making sure that we're making those gains as it relates to graduation, but other areas as well. One of the district initiatives that we focused on bringing back were instructional coaches. As we talk about closing achievement gaps and opportunity gaps for students, we also understand that we need to support our staff. Therefore, through instructional coaching, how do we provide individuals to come into the classroom, model specific lessons, do coaching cycles with staff, and then also just understand through analyzing data what's needed as it relates to instructional planning and instructional delivery. Through all of those different things, we have instructional coaches at the elementary and middle, and we continue to understand that that need is going to transition to the high school. It's something that we find of value, and we continue to explore opportunities, again, not just for our students, but also our staff. As it relates to our students also, we want to make sure that we are giving them the opportunity to examine their learning through rigorous courses. Therefore, we want to make sure that our students are exposed to honors and AP classes. Therefore, working with our administrative staff, we understand that we need to identify additional opportunities as it relates to advanced placement and then also College Credit Plus. So what does that look like for our students? But then also, as they get into these classes, what supports do we have in place to ensure that they are successful? We understand that students may not be exposed to rigorous courses early on. As they do get into these classes, they need to understand that we're there to support them and assist them. On the screen, you can see how many students, as it relates to grades 3 through 12, are in gifted and honors courses, and then also advanced placement courses, 9 through 12, and then overall within the district. Also, we understand that education, as it is about content area, we also have to hone in on our students' passions. A lot of times we think that fine arts may not be of value, but that's not the case here in Bedford City Schools. So as we look at passion, we're talking about music, we're talking about visual and performing arts, those things that students come to school to really be engaged in. Therefore, looking at the screen, you can see the number of art courses we have at our high school and middle school, and then also our music courses. As we look at our pathways, Dr. Threed will talk a little more about those passions because we want to expand those opportunities as well. We also this year introduced dance at the middle and high school. Again, just honing in on passions for students and getting them more involved. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Dan Brinson. In actuality, I think it's Mr. J.C. Commander.
Afternoon, everyone. We can do better than that. Come on, the Browns are playing. Afternoon. All right. So before I get started, I do want to make sure we acknowledge a couple more board members snuck in here. Mr. Akins, if you could please stand. Round of applause for Mr. Akins. And I believe I also saw Mr. Lipford sneak in here. Is he hiding somewhere? There he is. All right. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is J.C. Commander, and I am the new Director of Athletics here in District. I got started here in August, but might as well say I've been hanging around probably since March, safe bet. So I am just going to take us through a couple of things here. I would be remiss if I did not speak to the other people who play a huge role in athletics around here. Mr. Dan Brinson, I'm not sure if he's in here, but he serves as our Assistant Athletic Director. He's responsible for anything K-8. And then also Mr. Zach Toth, who also manages, besides being our fabulous head varsity football coach and an assistant basketball coach, he also manages to teach and handle the murals for us. So does a lot. I'll move us forward here. Oh, there I am. Okay. Making an entrance. So in terms of, there we go. In terms of how we're doing as far as the high school and the middle school, currently we offer 22 interscholastic competitive sports. And honestly, 16 of those 22 are offered at both Heskett and the high school, which speaks tons to us getting our kids involved in competition at an earlier age, which by right should improve our ability to be able to compete at a high level when they hit here at the high school. We're also currently a member of the Lake Erie League, along with, if you're unfamiliar, schools like Lorraine, Garfield Heights, Maple Heights, Shaw, Warrensville, schools of that nature, and we're currently looking to add to it. So in terms of some other highlights that we have going, I think my job in terms of handling athletics, I also want to make sure that I never get caught up in just doing that. So we really, really try to push the student athlete aspect of what we do here. So probably the stat that I'm most proud of up here is we came up with a system to, again, push the envelope in terms of recognizing our students who are also involved in athletics. So we created what's called a preseason academic All-American team. So any of our fall athletes who are currently on a fall roster, what we did was we took a look at their fourth quarter last year, and if they ended at a 3.0 or better, we automatically named them as preseason academic All-Americans. And I'm proud to say that out of all of our fall teams, just here at the high school, 88 kids are on that team. So that in itself is a big deal. And I think it speaks volumes to the hard work that our administrators and our teachers are doing with our students. So that's a stat that I'm very proud of. And there's also some kickback for those kids because they get into all games free as long as they stay on that list. So it works out. Also another stat, again, not to just get caught up in athletics, but we do have roughly 50% of our incoming ninth graders who were involved in some type of athletic team. And then Mr. Brinson, who currently right now, carries a little bit more of the load in terms of this. I got to catch up to him, but a lot of LEL titles over the last season, multiple sports. More of those coming from Heskett, so we're going to see if we can kind of catch up to him here. So again, something that's applaudable for sure. Shows to how good or how hard our kids work and how well coached they are. All right, in terms of intramurals, again, this is a program that Mr. Tove could speak a whole lot better to, but I do think it's important to recognize that we want to make sure that we provide our kids with opportunities to be involved in sports and learn other sports. So stereotypical kid is, oh, I'm a basketball player, I'm a football player. Well, there's more out there, and what we're trying to do is open our kids' eyes to all of the other sports that exist. For example, in our intramural program, and this is, again, we haven't got the numbers for this year yet because we're just getting started, but last year we had over 125 kids participate in the basketball program, and we're talking about K-6. We had 85 participate in volleyball, and that's huge because right now we can't say that this is a direct cause for it, but our volleyball team right now is fighting for first place in the league here at the high school. So again, that's an important thing. Got it. And then we had 110 kids participate in our soccer program, and then over 150 participate in football and cheerleading through intramurals. So again, we're doing plenty to get our kids involved. And last but not least, this is just kind of like a listing of all of the things that we kind of offer here between the high school and Heskett in terms of sports/activities. Esports is becoming a bigger thing. Video games, for those of you like me who maybe didn't know what that was initially. And flag football. Flag football is becoming an OHSAA sport, I would think, at some point for our young ladies. So for our young ladies who want to get involved, that's a good thing. I am going to turn it over to, I got one more slide. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, and we're not a pay-to-play district, so that's huge. All right, I gotta hit it one more time. All right, so I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Jatina Threet, School and Community Engagement.
Thanks, JC. Thanks, JC. As Tina comes up, I would just ask at this time for all of our administrators that are here tonight, if they're able to please stand. Thank you so much. I just want to personally thank our Board of Education for your support. Again, I know that there were some questions about the number that we have. Since I came into office, with the support of our board, we have 4 more administrators than we previously had. 4. We added in addition assistant athletic director based upon the feedback from our community and us wanting to have a better athletic program and providing opportunities K through 6. We thank our Board of Education. We added, in addition to that, Tina's department, our coordinator of CTE and adult programming. We heard from our community and we listened to you. You asked that we bring our CTE programming back. And so I'll talk about the other 2, but I'll turn it over to Dr. Threet so she can talk about all the amazing things that are happening in her department based upon the feedback from our communities.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. Again, I'm Dr. Jatina Threet, Executive Director of School and Community Relations. Before I start, that video that you watched at the very beginning, Mr. Gabriel just walked in the room, and I would be remiss if I didn't have him stand up just to be recognized for his good work in getting that video together. So, we talk about building a brighter future. That's our biggest tagline for this year, along with another one that I will share with you. But a part of our building a brighter future is we are so fortunate enough here in Bedford City Schools to have such an outstanding SEL team. And our SEL team consists of our school counselors. It consists of our SEL team of 5 SEL interventionists, 3 social workers, 2 mental health therapists, and 1 social health teacher in our 3rd through 5th grade levels. And then we have our school-based health. There is a nurse and a clinic aide in every single building of our school buildings. So, and we also have 1 district nurse that works all over. So she helps support all of our district nurses and our clinic aides. We are also excited to be partnering very soon with Metro Health for a school-based health clinic so that our kids, our staff, and eventually we'll open it up to our community, can come. When you need medical attention, that's minor medical attention, you'll be able to get those services here in Bedford City Schools. So we speak a lot about our SEL program. And like everything else, you have to have some sort of guidance or a guideline that you put together that helps support our SEL staff, which then helps support our students. So we do have a SEL continuum that we use. And Faith Gordon is here. Faith, if you want to raise your hand so everybody know who you are. Faith worked really hard in collaboration with my department to put together this SEL continuum. And it basically talks about what programs, what social emotional programs we have in every single grade band, from pre-K all the way to 12th grade. And then when you identify those programs, then it talks about different things that they do within those social emotional programs. So we're excited to have this. And this form can be accessed. We could get this form, it'll be on our website so that you can see, because I know it's in small print right now. 2 of the things that, well, one of them is what I'm very excited about, but the other is what I continue to be excited about. What I'm excited about is we just partnered with the Cleveland Browns this year for their Stay in the Game campaign. And the Stay in the Game, yeah, let's clap it up for that. If you don't know what the Stay in the Game is, it is all about attendance. The Cleveland Browns as well as Bedford City Schools and every other school that has partnered with the Cleveland Browns, we understand the importance of students being here every single day. When a student is absent, they miss out on so much. And when they're absent 2 days, it gets behind even more. And then it becomes hard and literally stressful on the child to learn everything that they need to learn, that they missed 1, 2, 3, or 4 days that they were out. So it's very important that we make sure, and I'll put the tagline up here, that our kids are in school, not just in school, but in school on time every day, because that is the BCSD way. One of the other things that I continue to be excited about is our PBIS program, which is our Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. We have a district-wide PBIS where it's all about roaring. So if you don't know what that is, parents, when you're sitting at the dinner table with your kids, ask them what roar is. And what is the expectations for them? What does being responsible look like? We promote that in every single building from pre-K, all the way to 12th grade. As we continue to talk about our brighter future here at Bedford City School District, we want to focus on CTE, which is Career Technical Education. That is a program where maybe a student is not really interested in college, or maybe not interested right now. They just want to get out in the work field and just test out some skills. We are here, Bedford City School District is here to engage students in classes and coursework that when they graduate, they'll be able to go out in the workforce and begin to make a living. So we have this year some new courses that we've added, and I'm not going to go through them all because they're right there for you, but I will highlight a couple. We have psychology. Again, Mr. Harrington talked about intro to dance. We're cooking and culinary fundamentals. We have family consumer science classes in both our high school and our middle school, but we also have pathways for them to go down for marketing, and we also have teaching pathways because there's a shortage in teachers. So why not start early and get our students interested in becoming those educators, the face of education? We could do that here early as a pathway in Bedford City Schools. Last but not least, we're currently a part of the Heights Consortium, which this is our last year, and Heights Consortium is 5 school districts. We are exiting that consortium, which makes it even more important now for my department to make sure that we have the courses and the pathways that our students need, or that they got from those other 5 schools, to bring them here to Bedford City Schools. So some of the CTE courses that we plan to introduce in the 2024-25 school year is auto engineering, construction, cosmetology. We're bringing cosmetology back. That was a big thing in the community. Let's clap it up for that. Engineering, robotics, and manufacturing, because guess what? In 10 years, we're going to have electric vehicles. We have to start training our students on how to work on those electric vehicles. Pharmacy technician, sports medicine and exercise, and criminal justice. Well, it wasn't last but not least. This is the last but not least. We also, in a collaboration with a lot of business partners, in an effort to maximize our students' experience, hands-on experience, last year, Carla Robinson and I were able to gather partnerships in the community. These are all the partners that we have right now currently with Bedford City Schools that are willing to open their doors, or come into our schools to provide that hands-on experiences to our students. They invite our students to field trips where they can come out, get that hands-on experience, but even in our younger grades, because it's not just high school, they come into our primary buildings and our intermediate buildings just for career exploration, because that's what the younger ones, they just need to see what's out there for them and get that thought process in their head. So we are super excited to welcome our business partners, and they are a part of our business advisory. And if you know of any businesses that would like to partner with Bedford City Schools, I am the person to come and see. I thank you so much for your time. We have some upcoming events coming up for the rest of the year. We had our SEL night, our SEL family affair that happened at the beginning of the month, which was a success. Today is our Autumn Fest. We partnered with Education Equity Group, but that's for our pre-K through 2 buildings. We will have some jazz brunches coming up. We'll have SEL nights coming up in the building. We'll have a Valentine's Day dance, and our senior prom. Oh, you missed it last year if you were 60 and older. They came out and they partied. So we're looking forward to putting that on again this year. I promise you, that is it for me. I will introduce Mr. Samuel Vaughters. He is our Executive Director of Equity and Inclusion.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samuel Vaughters. I am a proud graduate of Bedford City Schools. Really, y'all? Really? They can't hear me? Oh, I said I am a proud graduate of Bedford High School. Bedford City Schools. Sherwood, Besket, and the high school. Can you hear me now? All right. So, a couple quick slides for my department. I'm the Executive Director of Human Capital Equity and Inclusion. There's no finish line in learning. We embrace the importance of learning and understand that students have multiple learning styles. I want to go to our goals for our department. So here are some of our BCSD staffing demographics. We have over 550 employees who serve the students of our district. We have 267 teachers who are certified employees, 168 with master's degrees, 22 master teachers, and over 20% minority teachers. This past fall, when we were at the Tri-C Community College, one of the things we asked was for our Bedford graduates to stand, whatever capacity that they serve. And I believe it had to be over 30 or 40, 50% of our staffing who have graduated from Bedford High School, who work, whether it be custodians, cafeteria workers, paras, teachers, and this the proudness that we displayed in graduating from our school district. So again, if we can give our graduates a great big round of applause. So again, as I said, many of the employees are BCSD graduates, including two board of our education members. In fact, I believe it's Mr. Akins and Ms. Macklin. It's three. She stepped out. Who's the third one? Oh, Ms. Birch. Is Ms. Birch here? So we have three board members who are graduates, and including myself. We utilize hiring practices that establish an expectation of reflectiveness, empathy, and the understanding of equity, access, human capital for high quality education, instruction for each child. I apologize. Here are our department goals. And for goal number one, we really take this personal, and because goal number one is about hiring and recruiting our teachers. And so when we're hiring our teachers, we want to retain and hire the highest qualified, diverse, positive-minded candidates to fill our open positions. Teaching is one of the most critical positions for our kids. Goal number two is achieve. As a district, we are committed to achieve the diverse needs of our students, staff, placing an emphasis on equity for our educational community. The decision-making process, along with our assistance and interventions, will be reflective of our research-based strategies and best practices, which align to the district's practices with regard to diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is our sort of theme, centered around equity and inclusion. It's centered with Bearcats, believing, eliminating, acknowledging, responding culturally against and transgressional, as well as stereotypes. We achieve through acknowledge, culture, history, inclusiveness, equity, value, and we value everyone. We are a diverse group of more than 2,800 students, pre-K through 12 learners. We support our ELL students. We support 97 learners through our virtual programming. We also support over 170 learners who are identified as gifted as well. We support over 650 learners who are on IEP or a 504 plan through our special education services and supports. And then the last slide you see there, we provide free and reduced lunch for a little over 65% of our students. At this time, I ask our Supervisor of Pupil Personnel, Ms. Marion Armstrong. She's going to talk about our club program. Ms. Armstrong.
I guess I should say good evening. We're getting to that point of the evening, but I'm very excited to talk to you about two programs that we're going to be bringing very shortly to Bedford City Schools. The first one is called the Cub Club. The Cub Club is a third grade after-school reading intervention program. What we are going to be doing after school, it's going to be a young literacy program. We're hoping to start it up in October. It's going to be found at Columbus and Carrollwood, and we will be working with students to improve their literacy skills and, most importantly, their writing skills. Our young learners are going to be writing their own books. We're going to publish those books, and we're going to have a literacy night where we're going to share those books with our families. So we're very excited about that. Also coming to Bedford City Schools is a therapist from Riley's Angels. She brings her therapy dog with her, and we will be instituting a program in all 4 elementary schools where the therapy dogs will come into the building 1 day a week, and they'll work with specific students to help students regulate their emotions and be able to be better learners. So these are 2 very exciting programs that our board was gracious enough to approve this week, so we're very excited to get the work started. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Armstrong. At this time, I'll introduce Mr. Taz Ellsworth for our facility plan. Tad.
Thank you, Sam. There's a lot of things my department does, but I know everyone's real anxious to get out of here. So I'm going to talk about the thing that is most present in my mind, which is our facilities program. You've heard a lot about the excellent things that are happening and that are coming as we build a brighter future for Bedford and our students. One of the areas of excellence that we lag behind on is facilities. 70 years ago, I'm sure that this building was considered to be state-of-the-art. But as you can tell, just from sitting inside, it's showing its age, and that's true for all of our buildings. So recently, the school district partnered with GPD Architects and the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission to do a study of our facilities and to make recommendations for how we proceed to improve them or build new for 21st century learning. So just real quickly, we'll talk about enrollment, because enrollment is what drives how we decide to build our schools, how many schools we have, how big they are, what structure they take. So you can see an enrollment projection was done by the state of Ohio, taking into account all kinds of factors. And you can see as we proceed, enrollment is going to grow a little bit and probably level out around 2,880 students thereabouts over the next 10 years. And so when we looked at our facilities, we needed to build for that, that particular enrollment number. So these building assessments. So you can see here on this chart, we have each of the schools, the year they were built, and in red, you'll see the number that the state estimates would cost to renovate each of these facilities to bring them up to current standards. You know, when these buildings, none of our buildings are ADA compliant. When these buildings were built, there was no such thing as the internet or cell phones or personal computers. So, you know, education has changed. As you can see, for example, Central was built in 1905. That's our oldest building. Our newest building was Heskett, was built in 1968. As you can see, our buildings are aging. The total cost of renovation is almost $225 million to renovate our existing buildings to bring them up to current standards for education, as well as safety and security and ADA compliance, et cetera. So the study then looked at the cost of building new. And we formed a facilities committee that was made up of members of our community as well as members of the administration, and also guided by GPD architects to help us come up with a master facility plan. The Board of Education approved that plan after almost a year of study, and recommended a bond issue be put on the ballot in order to pay for it. The very quick details of this plan are to build a brand new pre-K to 2 building that will include a major expansion of preschool. The cost of that building is $35,188,000. To build a brand new 3rd through 5th grade building. Now that'll come in phase 2 upon receipt of state funds. And I mentioned that to say that this new building project will include almost $33 million worth of state money. And that will be used to build the new 3-5 building. But that will come down the road because we will not receive our state money probably until after phase 1 is done. A brand new middle school that will be built on the Chanel property across the street, which will also include new administrative offices. A brand new high school that will include a brand new auditorium, as well as an expanded and up-to-date modern career tech space. There are other costs involved, of course, when you build. You have demolition, abatement of asbestos, which is in all of our buildings. Not to fear, as long as you don't mess with it, it doesn't hurt anybody, but once you do, it becomes a problem. And also a temporary renovation for Heskett Middle School to make it available for 3rd through 5th graders while we wait for that state money to come in. So the total cost to the taxpayers of this building plan is $161,130,000, and the state will kick in an additional $32,666,000. You may not be able to read it at the bottom, but the savings to Bedford taxpayers by building new instead of renovating our existing facilities is over $63 million. So this map shows where our existing facilities are and where the new ones will be. The ones in red are where there will no longer be school buildings. So we will have 4 school buildings in our school district. That will make us more efficient. It will save us money operationally. That pushes the need for operating levies further out down the road. And it also provides for greater efficiency for the school district. If you want more information about the building program, there will be a community forum tomorrow at our oldest school at Central at 6 o'clock. And you can also get more information on our website.
Thanks, Tad. And also all of the members of the facilities committee that participated in that work, which is monumental. I will say also the previous committees, because this work did not just begin last year. We did not want to dismiss any of the work of the previous committees, which was very helpful for us to be able to push this project forward now. So this began, I know, prior to me even coming to the district, and then there was a delay due to COVID. So I just want to thank all of our community members that served, our teachers, our administration, and also our Board of Education for assisting us to move this project forward, because we do need a brighter future for our children and for our staff. This does conclude our program. Myself and a couple of the members of the team will hang out here, but Jatina and her department have put forth the effort to establish an amazing Autumn Fest in the cafeteria. So we highly advise that you transfer right over there and enjoy the fun and the festivities. Thank you so much.